I don't want. Okay, I don't want us to have.
I've told you where the vehicle is.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us this set of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
A very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us on Beetv Major News at 6. My name is Temitokwe Oluwafemi, and now to the news in details. With less than 24 hours to the People's Democratic Party PDP governorship primary election, Governor Ademola Adeleke has resigned his membership from the party. The PDP chairman in Osun State, Mr. Sunday Bisi, had on Monday disclosed that the party would not hold the primary election on Tuesday as scheduled due to a fractional crisis within the party, and that Governor Adeleke is no longer interested in picking the party nomination as a result of the crisis. However, a letter that emerged from the party national secretariat insisted that the primary election would hold on Tuesday at the Atlantic Multipurpose Hall in the state capital. Meanwhile, the governor, in a letter dated November 4, 2025, which surfaced on Monday evening, resigned his membership from the party. The letter, which was addressed to the party chairman of Sagba Ward 2 in Ede, attributed the crisis in the party as the reason behind the governor's decision. The Edo State House of Assembly has summoned the member representing Ego constituency, Honorable Natasha Osawaru Iyobosa, to appear before the Ethnics and Privileges Committee within 1 week to explain why she's dragging the House into disputes with her recent actions and misconducts that have been trending. BTV News State House respondent Osaruge Agwebo reports that the Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, issued the directive during Tuesday's plenary, frowning that the lawmaker has been trending negatively in the media.
Honorable Natasha should appear before the Ethics Committee, Ethics and Privileges Committee, to let us know why she is dragging this House into the mud.
The Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, said the recent actions and misconduct of the member representing Ego constituency at the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Natasha Osawaru, has been treading negatively on the media and dragging the House into disrepute. He stated that while the members are known to be responsible, they will not allow any member to tarnish its reputation. The Speaker summoned Honorable Natasha Osawaru to appear before the House Committee on Ethics and Privilege within 1 week to explain why she is dragging the House into the mud and to show recourse why disciplinary action should not be taken against her.
Present this precious House with cerebral members and highly educated members have been dragged in the mud for too long by our colleague, Honorable Natasha Iyobosa. For the past 1 week, she has been, let me use the word, treading negatively on social media and the televisions, both CBC, Silverhead, and other television stations. We want to let the public know that this house is a decent and reputable house. In Nigeria as a whole, this house is the best house. That's the truth. But we have responsible members in this house. The intelligent members in this house, members that know what they are doing. So the attitude or the misconduct of the member cannot drag the house to disrepute. We frown against it and we will not take it. On that note, Honorable Natasha Rosa should appear before the Ethics Committee, the Ethics and Protocol Committee, to let us know why she is dragging this house into a mud. And the committee should report back to this house within 2 weeks.
In another development, the Speaker, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, informed the House that the State Director and officials of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, who were summoned to appear before them, sent a letter stating that they will not be chanced to appear and requested that the House set a new date in middle of January for their appearance.
The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency body that was supposed to appear for us this morning by 11 a.m. I just want to inform the House that we received a letter from them. In that letter, that the agency will not be chanced today to see us. That should be the dates in the middle of January. I don't understand. I should give a date in the middle of January. Anyway, I just want us to know that as a house represents our constituencies, as our communities, we must instruct those who are in charge to give good living, to make our people comfortable, to remind them of their duties if they are not keeping up with their duties.
Also, a bill for a law to amend the Edo State Lottery, establishment of the Edo State Lottery Regulatory Commission and the Edo State Lottery Trust Fund and other matters connected therewith, and a bill for a law to establish the Edo State Emergency Management Agency and to provide for other purposes therewith, both came through their first reading.
A bill for a law to establish the Edo State Emergency Management Agency and to provide for other purposes therewith. First, this is a very challenging bill. We have to make sure it sees like today. Like this, set this bill for second reading.
From the Edo State House of Assembly, Osarogi Agwebo, reporting for Beetv News.
The Ikpoba-Ahoka Local Government Council has reaffirmed its firm stance on the prohibition of open grazing across the local government area, declaring that no extension will be granted to cattle rearers or herders ahead of the enforcement deadline. Beetv News Courage Ayodele reports the decision was reached during a stakeholders meeting at the Council Secretariat, Idobo. The report is presented by Beetv News senior reporter Best Orito.
Cattle ranching, because there is water. I have a well here, I can see well, more well there. So, and there is land.
The meeting, chaired by the Vice Chairman, Ikpoba-Ahoka Local Government, Mrs. Patience Imokpai, had in attendance other local government officials, political appointees, security personnel, cattle rearers, and others, which was used to discuss the long-standing challenges associated with open grazing and outlined the Council's renewed commitment to transitioning cattle rearing into regulated and secure grazing environments. During the meeting, the Council reiterated the directive for cattle rearers to discontinue open grazing within the local government council area. The leadership emphasized that the decision is driven by the need to enhance community safety, reduce conflicts, and align with modern livestock management practices that support long-term development. The leader of the cattle rearers in Ikpoba-Ahoka, Alhaji Ahmed Ewaike, appealed for an 8-month extension to allow cattle owners more time to relocate and adapt to the new system. He expressed concerns about the sudden transition and pleaded for more time for cattle rearers to reorganize their operations.
Open grazing is banned. We should make an appeal that they should give us a time to go and meet with our people and discuss further in order for us to sell on into plans of the local government chairman on how to stop this open grazing, which gave us an opportunity for us to go and meet. And when we met, we came back and we pleaded for an extension of the duration of time. So which we have done, we put up a letter and pass across to the local government chairman, which we begged for an extension of 8 months.
Responding, the council vice chairman, Mrs. Patience Emokpai, who stood in for the chairman of the council, Honorable Eric Sino Sawao, announced that the final window for compliance spans from December 1st, 2025 to January 3rd, 2026, and after this date, any cattle found grazing openly in defiance of the law will be confiscated and declared government property in accordance with the council's enforcement guidelines.
Outside this compound, that is where you are against the law. If you have a ranch, your cattle stays in the ranch. If you are transporting your cattle from one place to another, you have a vehicle, not moving in the streets. And we don't want to see them in the bushes. So it's a system that we can always learn, and we have to adapt the new system. It will work. Let us assume we are buy to this new report, of which we must buy to this on the top. After some time, the government say, okay, these things, another, they work well, they see all those things for push again. So please, I beg every one of us, on the throne is on the throne.
Also speaking at the meeting, the chairman of the Cattle Dealers Association Edo State, Alhaji Idris Adamu, highlighted the challenges cattle rearers may face if immediate relocation is enforced without preparation. He stressed that cattle may suffer without access to adequate food and water and may struggle to adjust without a designated grazing environment, and the business of cattle owners could collapse if conducive facilities are not provided. He appealed for the government and private stakeholders to urgently make provisions that would make the transition workable and fair to those involved in livestock trade.
They give us problem. What is the biggest problem? We, every week, you can keep 2,300 cows. And that cow, you're not going to load down 2 planes, now you come. The Scott and Beach Sorota, you get killer. And that cow, you don't get food. You don't get food, what they give them. But yo, if I tie one cow will chop 450 before it was strong. For example, if I buy one cow 1 million, tie am chop 400 and something. If I carry and go market, you're not going to come up. You're not going to see there. That one you can help us. Please help us. You can support the ranch. You're not going to feed 5 corners. No. We are happy when the government is going to plug. You can give us ranch. We're going to our one place.
Mr. Ebose Osaze, who subsequently conducted the council officials round the site currently under development, pledged full support to cattle owners during the transition period. He also announced that he has already begun developing a model cattle settlement spanning more than 20 acres of land, a project initiated even before the open grazing ban was formalized. He assured the cattle rearers that the proposed settlement will provide food, water, spacious grazing areas, and other essential amenities. He said the facility is being built with the backing of Edo State government. The area, according to him, is secured, and the project is aimed at ensuring that their business will not collapse, but instead flourish under more organized modern conditions.
Due to what Mr. Alhaji said, that there are times if they want to convey cow to abattoir where they will slaughter it and all that thing. Here is 100% because the ranching space is besides the abattoir. So I think upper houses is 100% okay for ranching.
The leadership of Ikpoba Local Government Council reaffirmed that the reforms are not intended to marginalize any group but to foster peace, safety, and sustainable rural development in Ikpoba Local Government area. Best Orator reporting for BTV News.
The Local Government Service Commission Benin City has released a series of official circulars detailing new postings, transfers, and disciplinary measures affecting heads of local government administration across the state. The directive signed by Odige George, Secretary to the Commission, says the decision takes immediate effect. In the latest posting instructions, 6 heads of local government areas have been deployed to the Local Government Staff Training School, Bekuma. They include Dr. Sunday Yerumo Owumbameng, AO, Osifo Kessington, Dr. Charles Okwere, Dr. Gregory Ehimili, Dr. Alenogena Innocent. The Commission stated that further details on their specific duties will be communicated to them in due course. Additionally, the Commission announced new transfers affecting several heads of local government administration. The officers and their new postings are B.S. Matthew, Ego Local Government Area, Uselu, to Owan East Local Government Area, Afunze, Richard Edenamigo from Ovia North East to Ego Local Government Area, Uselu, Sandra Osa Ehige, posted from Nwode to Ovia South West, Igobazua, Ernest Erebolo from Esan Central to Esan South East, Ubiaja, Ewo Obo, Oredo Benin City to Ikpobahoka Idogbo, Dr. Odige Francis, Ovia Southwest to Esan West Local Government, Ohiku Osaiwe from Igweben to Esan Northeast Local Government, while Engineer Emmanuel Iwabode from Esan Southeast to Oredo Local Government Council, Benin City. The cellular also confirmed disciplinary decisions on others. Dr. Igbinige Osaheni O has been directed to proceed on compulsory retirement, while Mrs. Teresa Ofei, DFA grade level 15, has been demoted to grade level 14 for official infractions based on a committee recommendation. She has been reassigned from Akoko Edo Local Government Area Igara to the Local Government Staff Pension Board, Benin City. Meanwhile, the postings of 3 heads of local government areas including Dixon Ekane, Ogbemudia Osenwige, and Engineer Aminu Ayimali have been suspended pending investigations into irregularities in their service records. They are expected to appear before a constituted committee at a date to be communicated. The Commission directed all affected officers to assume duties at their new postings without delay. Urban gardening is gaining momentum in Benin City as residents increasingly recognize its role in promoting health, security, and environmental well-being. A visit to Santua Gardens showed how flowers, scrubs, and ornamental plants help reduce heat, improve air quality, create soothing environments, and enhance biodiversity. With rising concerns about pollution and rapid urban expansion, more people are beginning to appreciate gardens as essential components of a cleaner and healthier city. Beetv News Zainab Mohammed reports that residents are now turning to plants and flowers as a way to promote a healthier environment and improve their immediate surroundings.
Horticulture, which involves the cultivation of plants, flowers, and landscaped environments, plays a vital role in urban development. It helps purify the air, reduce noise pollution, protect soil from erosion, and improve the overall aesthetic value of communities. Visitors at Santua Gardens say the presence of well-maintained plants bring calmness and supports better environmental balance. A resident who frequently visits the gardens said plants help regulate carbon dioxide levels, improve air quality, and support better health. He added that environments with rich vegetation promote overall well-being and balance in the ecosystem.
I would say that plants give us balance to our ecosystem. So they help us control the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That's why when you're in the forest or in a place with so much plants, the air is fresh. So it makes you, and when your air is fresh, it helps your growth and also improve your immunity and functionality. So aside from the stimulation, I feel that to give you health. So I think it's good for ecosystem.
The Secretary of Santua Garden explained that flowers and plants are vital for health, air purification, and home beautification. She highlighted that certain plants such as Sansevieria can purify indoor air and promote positivity, while others like the snake plants and Jatropha serve functional purposes such as repelling snakes or protecting children from skin irritations. She emphasized proper plant care including controlled watering, adequate sunlight, and the use of quality manure like Black Miracle Grow or urea to ensure healthy growth. Additionally, some plants like euphorbia can serve as natural security measures around homes. According to her, integrating gardens and horticultural practices into homes and communities contributes significantly to environmental balance, well-being, and sustainable ecosystem.
Saturn that we have a special product called black oil product. It's more effective than that normal powder or powder in the milk. That one is a mix of plants green. There's several aspects. When I said the defense air, there are also other uses that you can make use of. Especially there's another one called lavender plant. That was the snake plant. Yes, it pursues snakes when you plant it around your house. It pursues snakes. Then there's another one again called jatropha. That one is known to help children with all these what's it called? Injuries. Yeah, sepsis. It helps the skin.
Environmental advocates say embracing more garden and green spaces within urban areas will enhance public health, support climate adaptation, and create more livable communities. They are encouraging stronger collaboration between private developers and residents to build a greener Benin City. Zainab Mohammed reporting for Beetv News.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has commended President Bola Tinubu's gesture of granting asylum and providing protection to Mr. Fernando Diaz da Costa, the opposition presidential candidate in the Guinea-Bissau presidential election. PDP spokesman Ini Emobong said that according to information credited to the Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Maitama Tuga, the decision was taken to shield Mr. Da Costa from imminent threats to his life and reinforce Nigeria's commitment to regional peace, stability, and conflict de-escalation in the sub-region. He added that the intervention aims to preserve peace and democracy in Guinea-Bissau and, by extension, other regions. The wife of the Zamfara State Governor, Hajia Huraya Dauda Lawa, has flagged off the 2025 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, calling for collective action to end all forms of violence against women and girls.
The 16 Days of Activism campaign aims to support women across Nigeria by raising awareness, offering assistance to survivors, and promoting systematic reforms to tackle gender-based violence and inequality. Key benefits include increased public awareness of women's rights, access to legal aid and counseling for survivors, stronger community engagement, and intensified effort to challenge harmful social norms. At the launch of the campaign in Zamfara, the wife of the state governor advocated for laws that promote economic empowerment and help build a safer, more equitable future for women and girls. She described gender-based violence as a growing threat to societal well-being and sustainable development.
Because this year is not just awareness, it is action. Our priorities include strengthening the enforcement of laws that protect survivors, supporting access to justice for victims of online and offline abuse, working hand in hand with security agencies to protect communities. Let it be clear. Silence is no longer an option. Fear is no longer a barrier. Violence, whether physical or digital, will no longer be tolerated.
She also addressed the rise in digital violence, stressing that online abuse should be taken just as seriously as physical abuse, noting that they both have long-term consequences for victims.
In this fast-growing digital world, our phones, our devices, and our social media platforms have become extensions of our lives. Sadly, they have also become tools for harassment, bullying, blackmail, exploitation, cyber-talking, and emotional violence. We must protect our people in both physical and digital spaces.
The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Dr. Aisha Anka, reaffirmed the state government's commitment to protecting the dignity, safety, and rights of all citizens, especially women and girls. She described gender-based violence as a major obstacle to family stability, community development, and social progress.
A period when governments, institutions, leaders, communities, and families unite to reaffirm their commitment to ending gender-based violence in all its forms.
Victims of gender-based violence were encouraged to speak out and seek help without fear. Stakeholders were also urged to intensify awareness campaign and strengthen prevention strategies. Zainab Mohammed reporting for Beetv News.
In Kaduna, the Northern States Governors Forum has highlighted the urgent need to enhance security around schools through closer collaboration with the federal government, security agencies, and international partners. Chairman Forum Inuwa Yahaya condemned recent school adoptions and Boko Haram attacks in parts of Nigeria, describing the security situation as a national and existential threat. He emphasized that peace is the foundation for politics, governance, and development. The governors also welcomed international cooperation while stressing that Nigeria's sovereignty must be respected.
And mortgages the future of our region. This menace spares no one. It consumes the poor and the rich, the Muslims and the Christians, the young and the old. Now is not the time for politics or politicking.
Your Excellencies, our region has come far. We are dismantling all obstacles and building new pathways of cooperation and development. But challenges remain. Some inherited, some imagined, some shaped by global uncertainty. What matters now is that we face them together with clarity.
The FCT Police Command says it has prevented what could have been a major mass adoption in Abuja, killing 3 armed bandits and recovering weapons during an intelligence-led operation. Police launched a coordinated offensive operation after credible intelligence revealed that a notorious kidnap syndicate was preparing to attack a community before 1st December. A key suspect was arrested and his phone, used to coordinate previous attacks in Akko, Dupa, and parts of Gwagwalada, Kute, and Kwali, was recovered and analyzed. Investigations led officers to Gwagwaladu Hills in Kwali, where the gang had regrouped to launch the planned attack. Just after 11 p.m., police operatives of the anti-kidnapping unit advanced into the forest and staged an ambush. And now to the world of business. The National Bureau of Statistics has reported that the average retail price of petrol declined by 11.18% year-on-year, falling from 1,180.83 naira per litre in October 2024 to 1,052 naira 33 in October 2025. The data was contained in the agency's Petrol Price Watch for October 2025, released on Tuesday in Abuja. The report. According to the report, Kogi recorded the highest average petrol price at 1,110 naira per litre, followed by Sokoto at 1,105 naira 93 kobo and Borno at 1,101 naira 63 kobo. Oyo, Nasarawa and Abia State posted the lowest prices as 1,001 naira 79 kobo and 1,009 naira 38 kobo and 1,012 naira 50 kobo respectively. A zonal breakdown showed that the Northeast had the highest average retail price at 1,072 naira 74 kobo, while the Southwest recorded the lowest at 1,032 naira 81 kobo per litre. The NBS also released its diesel price watch for the same period, indicating that the average price of diesel stood at 1,398 naira 57 kobo per litre in October 2025. This reflects a 2.96% decline from the 1,441 naira 28 kobo recorded in October 2024. However, the report noted a 9.45% month-on increase from 1,277.81 kobo in September 2025. Former CIBN president seeks special court for loan disputes. A former president of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Ken Okpara, has called for the creation of a specialized court to handle credit and lending disputes in order to improve the efficiency of loan recovery processes in the country. Okpara, who is also an executive director at Fidelity Bank PLC, made the recommendation while presenting a paper on credit and lending management at the Lagos Business School. He noted that data from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that credit to the private sector rose by 2.6% to 74.41 trillion naira in October,
from 72.53 trillion naira in September, highlighting the continued expansion of lending activities. Okwara stated that faster adjudication of commercial debt cases is crucial to strengthening the credit system, and that a dedicated court would help accelerate dispute resolution. He also emphasized the need for broader reforms, including stronger prudential regulation, improved institutional coordination, support for responsible digital lending, and better alignment of fiscal and monetary policies. He further urged policymakers to adopt a long-term national credit strategy built on reliable data, regulatory discipline, and development objectives, stressing the importance of balancing credit expansion with financial system stability. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has reaffirmed the National Assembly's commitment to ongoing tax reforms aimed at supporting Nigeria's energy transition and climate obligations. He made this known on Monday during a policy dialogue with legislators on taxation for fossil fuel phase-out held in Lagos. Nigeria committed at COP26 to achieving net zero emissions by 2060 and subsequently unveiled an energy transition plan to guide the process while addressing the country's energy needs. Abbas, represented by the chairman of the House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotimi, said the legislature considers energy transition a priority, citing the country's vulnerability to climate impacts such as desertification, flooding, erosion, and biodiversity loss. He noted that the National Assembly intends to advance policies that balance environmental responsibility with economic stability. Stakeholders at the event acknowledged the country's net zero target as attainable, but stressed the need for strong governance, adequate funding, and the exploration of financing options, including external funding sources and green bonds to support the transition. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
A severe tropical storm over the Malacca Strait has caused catastrophic floods and landslides across Southeast Asia, leaving Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia reeling from the devastation.
In Indonesia, the hardest hit country, authorities confirmed 604 deaths with 464 people still missing, while more than 1.5 million residents have been affected. Over 28,000 homes have been destroyed or severely damaged, and more than 500,000 people have been evacuated from flood-affected areas, particularly in West Sumatra. Roads, bridges, and communication lines were heavily damaged, forcing the use of helicopters to deliver aid to isolated communities. Survivors returning to their towns and villages face mud, wreckage, and the loss of personal belongings, struggling to salvage motorcycles, documents, and other valuables. In Thailand, the storm caused 176 deaths, primarily in southern provinces such as Sokalia. Thousands of residents were forced into shelters, and authorities are now focused on restoring utilities and helping displaced populations safely return to their homes. Malaysia reported 3 deaths, with over 11,000 people remaining in evacuation centers. Across the 3 countries, the combined death toll is approaching 800, underscoring the scale and severity of the disaster. The storm destroyed thousands of homes, displaced more than 1 million people, and caused extensive infrastructure damage, cutting off roads and communication network, and complicating rescue and aid efforts. In Indonesia, military units and helicopters have been deployed to deliver relief supplies and clear blocked roads. Thailand is concentrating on restoring essential services and supporting displaced communities, while in Indonesia, public criticism has mounted over delays in aid distribution, increasing pressure on the government to respond more effectively. Experts warn that climate change and rising oceans temperature may increase the frequency and intensity of storms in Southeast Asia. The disaster highlights the vulnerability of many communities to extreme weather events and the urgent need for better disaster preparedness. As water recedes, survivors are beginning to return home, confronting the immense task of rebuilding lives, clearing debris, and restoring livelihoods, while governments and relief organizations continue to struggle with the scale of destruction. Evelyn Izibli reporting for BTV News.
The U.S. administration has carried out a series of military strikes in the Caribbean, targeting drug cartels that it claims are controlled in part by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. These operations, according to U.S. officials, aim to curb the flow of illegal drugs into the United States and dismantle criminal networks responsible for smuggling. The report.
Since September 2025, U.S. forces have conducted airstrikes against vessels suspected of trafficking narcotics. These strikes have resulted in at least 83 reported deaths, raising concerns over the legality and proportionality of the operations. A particularly controversial incident involved a follow-up strike on a suspected drug boat after the initial attack. This second strike, ordered by the U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley, targeted survivors of the first attack. The U.S. government maintains that the follow-up was lawful and necessary to neutralize threats posed by the vessel. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt defended the action, stating that the strike was within authority and the law and was intended to destroy the boat and eliminate the threat to the United States. The strike have drawn bipartisan scrutiny in Congress, with some lawmakers warning that targeting survivors could constitute an illegal use of force or even a war crime. International observers have also raised concerns about the humanitarian impact and potential escalation of conflict. President Donald Trump has defended the overall strategy as part of a campaign to stop drug trafficking into the U.S. and hold criminal organizations accountable. During recent meetings with his national security team, Trump discussed potential next step regarding Venezuela, signaling that further action remains under consideration. On the controversial follow-up strike, he stated that he wouldn't have wanted that, not a second strike, while still supporting the legal rationale for eliminating threats.
Number one, I don't know that happened, and Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted that. Not a second strike. The first strike was very lethal. It was fine, and if there were two people around, but Pete said that didn't happen.
Does that make you?
I have great confidence.
You saying
there's no second strike? I don't know. I'm going to find out about it, but Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
Beyond maritime operations, U.S. officials are reportedly weighing the possibility of strikes on the Venezuela mainland. A significant naval deployment to the Caribbean has heightened tensions, and some reports suggest that future operations may include covert actions aimed at Maduro-linked criminal networks. The administration labels certain Venezuelan cartels as terrorist groups, which form part of the justification for potential expanded military action. The Venezuelan government has condemned the strikes, asserting sovereignty and expressing continued loyalty to its people. The escalating military presence and potential for direct strikes on Venezuela territory have intensified the diplomatic strain between the two nations. Analysts interpret the U.S. actions not only as counter-narcotics measure, but also a broader pressure on the Maduro government, raising the risk of further escalation. The situation remains fluid, with international and domestic scrutiny on the legality and consequences of U.S. actions. Lawmakers, human rights observers, and foreign governments continue to monitor development closely, emphasizing the need for careful oversight to prevent a wider conflict. Temitokwe Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News.
And now to the entertainment world. The controversial street hop singer Portable has intensified his criticism of Tanzanian artist Juma Jux after discovering that he visited Nigeria and recorded a new song without informing him. The Zazu crooner, who expressed his displeasure in an Instagram video, questioned why no one told him that Juma Jux was in Nigeria. Also, Catherine asked for Cornish shanty in Claro's service. The report.
He said he was shocked to find out that the Tanzanian star had quietly collaborated with his associate Ekurawo on a track titled Halima. Portable insisted that since the song has already been released, he must now be included on the project. Neither Juma Jux nor Ekurawo has publicly reacted to his demand. His remarks instantly set off a wave of reactions across social media, with fans debating whether Juma Jux should fire back or simply stay put out of the drama. Portable, known for his fiery attitude, has repeatedly made headlines for similar controversies. Not long ago, he called out Olamide for excluding him from a London event, insisting that one of his hit tracks played a role in boosting Olamide's global profile. What started as an ordinary music collaboration has once again turned into a trending topic thanks to Portable's involvement. Nigerian musician Ahmed Ololade, popularly known as Ashake, has ignited a wave of online chatter following a private interaction with Grammy-winning artist Wizkid that was caught on camera during their joint performance in the United States. What started as a simple on-stage hug quickly became one of the week's most discussed moments in the Afrobeat scene. The YBNL star, who recently faced online criticism, headlined the Red Bull Symphonic concert at King's Theatre in Brooklyn, New York on November 8, 2025. The event was historic, with Ashake becoming the first African artist to lead a classical orchestra series in the US, yet it was the most performance interaction that stole the spotlight. During the orchestra rendition of the hit MMS, fans went wild with Wizkid made a surprise appearance on stage. Staying cool as ever, the Essence singer delivered his verse flawlessly, sending the audience into a frenzy. Amid the roaring applause, Ashake warmly embraced Wizkid and whispered, "You are the best," creating a touching moment that quickly went viral. Since the clip emerged, social media platforms such as X, Instagram, and TikTok have been buzzing with fans discussing and dissecting the exchange. A Cornish shanty group has been invited to perform at Catherine, Princess of Wales' annual Christmas Carol concert at Westminster Abbey. Catherine has asked Fisherman's Friend from Port Isaac to perform a sea shanty during the Together at Christmas service on Friday. John Cleave of the group revealed they were requested to sing a specific song which he felt they would make a good feast of. He described receiving the royal invitation as the icing on the cake. For us all, absolutely terrific. We feel very honored and very excited. Mr. Cliff said that since receiving the invitation by phone last week, the group had been rehearsing the shanty in preparation, though he could not reveal which song they would perform. The seventh theme, around the power of love and togetherness, will be led by Catherine, who aims to honor people across the country, making positive contributions to society. The Royal Foundation of the Prince and Princess of Wales stated that Westminster Abbey will host 1,600 attendees for the service. According to the foundation, each guest has either dedicated or volunteered their time to support others-led initiative that has brought communities together or demonstrated acts of kindness and empathy towards those around them. And that's it on the entertainment news. Evelyn Isibili reporting for Beetv News.
And now to the world of sports. The White House on Monday confirmed that U.S. President Donald Trump will be present at the official draw of the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals, scheduled to take place in Washington later this week. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told journalists that the president is expected at the ceremony on Friday, which will be held at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. The United States is co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico, and the forthcoming draw has been billed as one of the major milestones in preparation for the tournament. Trump has repeatedly highlighted the World Cup as a signature event of his second term in office and a key feature of next year's celebrations marking 250 years of Americans' independence. However, the build-up to the global sporting showcase has unfolded against the backdrop of political tension, partly fueled by the president's uncompromising policies on several domestic issues. Many thanks for staying with us on Beetv Major News at 6. My name is Temitope Oluwafemi. Do have a lovely night.